Right now, Stellar XLM sits at approximately 0.233 USD as of June 28, 2025, consolidating right beneath critical resistance levels. Sure, it's not grabbing Bitcoin or Ethereum-sized headlines, but here's the thing. There's something massive brewing under the radar. This isn't your typical price movement narrative. We're talking infrastructure buildup, strategic accumulation, and a quiet foundation that's setting up to launch XLM straight into the top 8 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization. Here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. Chart analysts are laser-focused on XLM right now, and guess what? They're all spotting identical signals, bullish patterns stacking up like perfectly aligned dominoes. The technical foundation is textbook perfect, but the underlying momentum building, that's far from ordinary. Let me walk you through this. First up, ascending triangle formation. This is one of technical analysis's most dependable continuation signals. XLM's pushing against horizontal resistance between 26 cents and 30 cents, while simultaneously creating higher lows beneath. Translation: buyers are jumping in earlier each time, creating a pressure cooker effect that's approaching its breaking point. Next, we've got a cup and handle pattern emerging on extended timeframes. This rounded bottom structure is forming what appears to be a classic cup and handle setup, a formation that typically explodes upward with serious momentum. The handle's consolidation phase, almost wrapped up. The breakout catalyst. You've got it, 30 cents. Support's holding rock solid at 23 cents. This isn't some arbitrary level either. It's been battle-tested repeatedly, and every single dip gets immediately bought up. That's genuine demand, not wishful thinking. It also signals that any push above the upper trend line could unleash a waterfall of stop-loss triggers and FOMO purchasing. Respected analyst Javon Marks points out that XLM's current compression setup mirrors a previous breakout pattern that sent it skyrocketing. If patterns repeat themselves, we could be looking at a 186% surge, targeting the 68 cents territory, with potential extensions beyond if macro conditions align perfectly. This type of multi-pattern convergence doesn't show up often. Momentum indicators are turning bullish on daily and 4-hour charts. Bollinger Bands are compressing tight, classic volatility precursor. RSI sits mid-range, indicating plenty of room for movement. We're not analyzing random chart scribbles here. We're witnessing the calm before a directional explosion, and every technical indicator is broadcasting the same message. XLM's gearing up for a breakout. Don't be shocked if it moves faster than anyone anticipates. Because when these structural setups finally crack, they don't trickle, they erupt. Derivatives markets and institutional money are already positioning. While most retail traders are either completely oblivious or distracted by meme coin theatrics, the real signals are flashing in derivatives markets with surgical precision. XLM futures open interest has been steadily climbing for weeks straight. But here's the critical detail: spot volume has stayed relatively unchanged. That divergence isn't random market noise. It's the signature of smart money accumulation. What's this telling us? Institutions, quantitative trading desks, and liquidity providers are establishing strategic positions ahead of volatility spikes. They're positioning for movement, but doing it stealthily. Flat spot volume keeps attention minimal. Rising open interest suggests they're preparing for volatility expansion. We've witnessed this exact pattern before every significant XLM movement. January 2021, open interest surged, price followed suit. November 2021, quiet accumulation led to a breakout hitting 40 cents. Now, identical fingerprints are appearing again. This isn't retail speculation. It's structured, methodical, algorithmic capital that doesn't chase pumps. It constructs pressure gradually and then explodes into momentum plays once conditions perfectly align. Here's another crucial layer. Funding rates remain neutral or slightly negative, meaning there's zero FOMO-driven leverage yet. That's incredibly bullish. When price finally starts moving, there'll be dry powder waiting on the sidelines and traders will have to chase momentum. This is where market makers excel, low volatility environments with high asymmetric potential. Stellar's current setup is delivering exactly that scenario. So while everyone else sleeps on XLM, institutions are building positions before headlines break. If you're wondering about timing, ask yourself, when does smart money ever wait for confirmation? Stellar's real-world applications are absolutely exploding. This isn't 2017 anymore. The era of hype-driven white papers and vaporware is dead. Today, utility reigns supreme, and Stellar's delivering where it matters most, in actual deployment. MoneyGram integration completely revolutionized the game. Stellar's MoneyGram partnership didn't just create headlines, it transformed blockchain-based remittances entirely. Users globally can now seamlessly convert between fiat and crypto, all powered by Stellar's network. With over 350,000 locations worldwide, that's not just reach, that's genuine infrastructure. Palau's pioneering approach with their national stablecoin, PSC, is groundbreaking. While most nations are still discussing CBDCs, Palau's already operational, and they're running it on Stellar. This represents one of the first government-issued digital currencies deployed on public blockchain infrastructure. It proves Stellar isn't just fast, it's trusted by sovereign governments. Humanitarian organizations are leveraging Stellar for aid distribution that's faster, cheaper, and more transparent. In crisis zones where every dollar counts and traditional systems collapse, Stellar enables direct, trackable, permissionless transfers reaching end users without friction. USDC's full integration on Stellar is massive. Circle's USDC stablecoin now operates completely within Stellar's ecosystem. This isn't just about liquidity addition, it's about scalability potential. With 2.5-second finality and virtually zero fees, Stellar's becoming a legitimate Ethereum competitor for stablecoin settlements, and frankly superior regarding speed and cost efficiency. These aren't experimental testnets or proof of concepts. These are production-grade implementations happening right now. Quietly, consistently, structurally building. As regulators, governments, and enterprises scramble for compliant, scalable, energy-efficient blockchain solutions, Stellar stands out with fully audited open-source code, minimal energy consumption, and a foundation actively partnering with NGOs and central banks. Bottom line, utility is winning, and Stellar's proving it's far more than just a token. It's a protocol engineered for the real economy. In a market driven by hype, Stellar's driven by actual deployment. XLM's pathway to market cap disruption is becoming crystal clear. Currently, Stellar XLM sits just outside the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization. But that positioning may not last much longer, because the mathematics are starting to speak louder than media coverage. Let's examine the numbers. At 24 cents, XLM maintains roughly a $6.8 billion market cap, a move to just 68 cents, which analysts like Javon Marks consider technically achievable, would rocket its market cap to approximately $19 billion. That transformation would place Stellar firmly within the top 8 cryptocurrencies, challenging long-established players like Cardano ADA, Avalanche AVAX, and Solana Sol. And that's without any irrational speculation. Just fair valuation based on actual use cases, adoption metrics, and real-world transaction throughput. Here's what makes this scenario not only possible but probable. Capital is rotating away from speculative meme plays toward infrastructure-grade assets. Investors are now prioritizing regulatory clarity, practical utility, and proven scalability, all areas where Stellar delivers exceptionally. As blockchain transforms from buzzword to operational financial layer, cryptocurrencies with production-level use cases are ascending rapidly. This is no longer about narrative control. It's about protocol strength and enterprise integration capabilities. Stellar's core applications, global payments, humanitarian aid delivery, fiat on-ramps, and stablecoin issuance, aren't abstract promises. They're live and operational. When institutions, sovereigns, and infrastructure providers benchmark blockchain platforms, conversations shift from trending topics to functional performance. XLM is perfectly positioned to capitalize on this transition. Its speed, cost efficiency, and compliance-first architecture make it a prime candidate for capital flows seeking utility-backed blockchain ecosystem exposure. We're witnessing the early stages of market cap revaluation, a flippening based not on speculation but on actual function. Stellar isn't trying to compete with meme coins anymore. It's competing with payment rails, swift networks, and outdated fiat corridors. If it continues gaining traction, the top 8 isn't a ceiling. It's just the next milestone on the roadmap. So what happens next and why timing is critical now? If you're waiting for headlines to signal entry points, you'll miss the move entirely. That's not speculation, that's how institutional cycles operate. In silence, then all at once. First comes quiet accumulation, then subtle derivatives positioning, then real-world integrations quietly scale up. By the time it's trending on social media, the breakout's already halfway completed. Let's be crystal clear. Stellar XLM isn't just building momentum, it's entering a completely new phase. The technicals are perfectly aligned. Smart money is strategically positioned. Real-world use cases are scaling globally. The macro narrative around compliance, utility, and infrastructure is turning decisively bullish. What we're witnessing isn't a pump, it's structural migration. Blockchain is evolving from hype to function, from testnets to governments, from speculation to infrastructure. And Stellar, it's positioned right at the center of this transformation. Governments are launching stablecoins on it. NGOs are distributing aid through it. MoneyGram is using it to bridge fiat and crypto seamlessly. Institutions are evaluating it as a low-cost, high-speed, regulated solution. Everything is aligning perfectly, not just for a price surge, but for complete market perception transformation. Because once XLM crosses key resistance levels, 30 cents, then 40 cents, it becomes undeniable. Capital rotation begins. Headlines follow. Retail investors chase momentum. That's the formula. That's the cycle. And right now, we're in those final quiet moments before eruption. So if you're considering waiting, don't hesitate. Because one chart refresh from now, XLM might not just be breaking resistance, it might be breaking into the top 8. And when that happens, everyone will say it was obvious. But it's only obvious if you're paying attention before the fireworks begin. Smash that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes to what's brewing beneath the surface. Subscribe to catch the next major move before it explodes. And ring that notification bell because when XLM makes its run to the top 8, you'll want to be the first to know, not the last to find out.